Hi aspirants, welcome to this channel. Hope you're doing good with your preparation and with your health. So today is day 3 of Mains PYQ. This question is coming from GS1 2017 paper. Okay. So the question goes like, the spirit of tolerance and love is not only an interesting feature of Indian society from very early times, but it is also playing an important part at present. Elaborate. Okay. So before I show you the model answer for this question, we'll understand the question first. So see the word Indian society here. Okay, see the word Indian society. What is the Indian society? How do you actually see the Indian society? See, Indian society, we have different religion, different language, different culture and everything, right? See, though Indian society is having so much of culture, religion and language, still it's stable, still it's unified, right? It is not like we are facing frequent chaos, frequent communalism, something like that, right? So what is the reason behind India being so diverse, still unified? How? That brings us to the next part of the question. See, spirit of love and spirit of tolerance and love. I'll divide this sentence into 3 parts: spirit, tolerance and love. See, spirit, what is the meaning of a spirit in general terms? Spirit means soul, right? It is soul. Now, here if we speak about spirit, we are saying that people internally have this moral of being unified. Okay, you can't make a law or rule saying or imposing on people saying that you have to be unified, because India is diverse. So there might be so much of communalism or chaos. So we will make a law and we will make a rule. You have to be unified. You can't say like that. You can't keep that for a very long time, right? People internally should have that feeling that, okay, though we are having so much of religion and culture, we still want it to be unified. That should be coming from the people itself. That is the spirit. Okay, here the spirit has 2 engines. What is that? Tolerance and love. Through tolerance and love, people are staying unified. See, in Western culture, tolerance in the sense like in Western countries, how tolerance is followed in the sense if, for example, if a person belonging to one religion and if they do not like the another religion, they just ignore. Okay, they just ignore it. But in India, tolerance is followed in such a way. Say, for example, a person belong to one religion will actually respect the other religion also. He'll be like, okay, see, our goal is one thing, the God. We have different paths. I will respect your culture and religion as same I respect my culture and religion. That is a level of tolerance India is following. And love, see, examiner is actually putting this word so that you will connect to brotherhood. Through tolerance and brotherhood, Indian society is being stable and unified. How? Now you should be explaining. From when? From early times. See, early times, usually what happens? Early times, aspirants will think and write from ancient, medieval, modern. See, early times actually include only these 2 parts, ancient and medieval. Modern, they have already asked in the question, that is present. You should be only mentioning ancient and medieval. See, India had so many invaders from Mughals, Delhi Sultanate, Britishers, Portuguese, Dutch and everything. Though India faced so much of invaders, still India is still India is unified, right? So you should be explaining that from early times to the present. how from early times practicing this spirit of love and tolerance, it as acting as a foundation to the present. You should be explaining that in the question. Now there is an interesting part also, that is interesting feature. See, most of the Western thinkers and the scholars actually thought that by seeing Indian society, people actually from Western countries thought Indian society would collapse because there is so much of diversity. Someday it would collapse, and some reform should be brought in. But actually, our deep diversity did not destroy us, okay? It actually made our strength. That was something interesting feature for the interesting feature of the Indian society for the Western thinkers and scholars. This is the interesting feature. You should be explaining this thing in the answer, okay? And the next part of the question is elaborate. In the elaborate, you should be telling that you should break down the statement. Here the statement is given. What is the statement? See, spirit of love and tolerance is not only an interesting feature of Indian society, it actually worked from early times to present. That is a statement. You in the elaborate, if they are asking elaborate in the question, you have to break down the statement. You have to break down and prove why it is historically why it is historically true, and you have to demonstrate how it operates today. Okay, now I'll show you my model answer. See, before I jump into my model answer, I just wanted to tell you, aspirants after referring to this question will actually divide their answer by writing. See, they will give some introduction. In the body part, they will actually divide into two. First, they will explain early times, and they will give some points like 2, 3, 4 points, and then present or today, how is it working, and they will give some more 2, 3 points. See, my model answer will be in such a way, I will be explaining early times here. Next to the early time, next line itself will be present. This is how I am going to explain. This is why my model answer will be different from traditional model. Why should we not explain like this? Early times, you are writing some statements here, and how is this early times spirit of tolerance and love is actually acting as a foundation for the present here. Instead of just dividing your body into early times and then give 2, 3 points, and then present, give 2, 3 points, you just put your answer like this. You put your answer in this structure, so that examiner find it very easy. Okay, there was early times, in ancient and medieval this was happening, and today how it is actually acting as an anchor. Okay, I'll show you my model answer, you will understand how. Okay, see here, this is my model answer. So in the introduction, I'm just saying the examiner, see, India is a hyper diversified continent containing thousands of distinct linguistic and religious groups. To prevent social collapse, Indian society developed tolerance and love, not only as a soft moral idea, but also to observe social friction and keep the peace. Okay, this is introduction. In the body, what am I saying? In the body, I am just saying layer 1. Layer 1 in the sense, I am explaining about the past. See, in the question also they asked about from the early times, no? From the early times, they asked from the early times. So I am putting the word as layer 1. I am putting the word as layer 1, and I am explaining how historical foundation. See the historical foundation. First point I am mentioning as philosophical anchor. Rigveda ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti and vasudhaiva kutumbakam. I am mentioning this one here. Usually aspirants mention this in the intro, but I am mentioning here. Okay, I am mentioning in the intro that see, India has some problem like social friction and collapse and everything. For that, it is maintaining peace through love and tolerance. That I am mentioning in the intro. This thing Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam I am mentioning here. Okay, next, how is it this acting as a equilibrium? This is actually establishing pluralism. This is actually establishing pluralism and elimination of communalism. This is an anchor, this is a equilibrium. Now, next, policy anchor. Policy anchor, now I have explained philosophical anchor. Philosophically, this was the anchor that actually laid down to the foundation, this one. It actually eliminated communalism and established pluralism. And coming back to the policy anchor, here in policy anchor, what am I writing? In policy anchor, Ashoka major rocks. I am explaining about Ashoka major rock, this, and Akbar's Sulhikul alongside Ebat Khan at Fatehpur Sikri. This was the foundation. This was the foundation. What was the equilibrium for this? This actually achieved. What did it achieve? It actually achieved stable, long-term political peace. I am writing that one here. Okay, getting my point, right? See, as I have told, I am writing, there is a foundation. There was the foundation. There was the foundation. For that foundation, what is today, presently, how is it actually promoting peace or stability? Foundation, equilibrium. Foundation, equilibrium. Instead of writing foundation, like for example, early times, usually what happens, early times, they'll give some points, and then next part in the body, they are going to write at present, how is it, what is it promoting, and they'll write few points. You can write like this also, right? Foundation or anchor. How early times, all these practices that were how these practices that they were doing earlier is acting as a foundation, and what did it lead, and today what is it actually establishing, what is it promoting. Write like this. Okay, next part. Here I have added grassroots devotional anchor. See, you have to put actually grassroots level. From the grassroots level, it is important. It is important to write from the grassroots level. Na? So I have written from the grassroots level. Okay. Now here, Bhakti Sufis movement like Kabir's, Bijaka poetry, Guru Nanak's rejection of caste barrier. What did it lead to? It lead to multi-religion cooperation. Remained at village level. Okay. Now, next, in layer 2, I am explaining about the present. This was whatever we spoke about till now was from ancient and medieval. Okay. Now we are going to speak about the present. Now, in the present, what we are going to speak is, see, I am putting the word layer 2 and I am explaining modern grid, the present. It is the first point I am giving, legal anchor. What is a legal anchor? What are we following today? How are we following this spirit of love and tolerance? How at present, how are we doing? That was ancient. The previous slide we spoke about ancient and medieval, right? In ancient and medieval, they were practicing some form of practices they were doing that happened to have a foundation, and that led to something for present, right? Now this I spoke entirely from ancient and medieval. In layer 2 I am discussing about the present. How are we following tolerance and love? First is legal anchor. Legal anchor how? From article 25 to 28, freedom of religion, and article 29 to 30, minority interest. And that, how is that presently having a what stability and unified Indian society? It is actually legally guarantees different community to practice their faith, right? Okay, next, administrative anchor. Coming to administrative anchor, how am I writing the administrative anchor? Administrative anchor, I am saying here, target state programs like Pradhan Mantri Jan Vikas Karyakram and this local committee. At present we are promoting like this. Modern equilibrium, this will rebuild mutual trust, handles law and order crisis at the grassroots line. Okay, next, geopolitical anchor. See, historically arrival of Parsis, Zoroastrian, fleeing Persia, and modern absorption of Tibet refugees into India. Or else you can write Rohingyas refugees. You can also put that one here. Okay, for that how it is acting as a equilibrium. So modern equilibrium is projects over domestic coexistence on the world stage. It projects, right? Giving nation immense respect in international relation. So this is how you will write the answer. Shifting from traditional answer writing to new answer writing. Okay, now in the conclusion I am saying that as the nation transition, I am giving a futuristic conclusion here. See, futuristic. Futuristic conclusion you have to give. See the conclusion, I'll read out once. As the nation transitions into advanced technology, obviously no, there is so much of AI that's coming, ChatGPT and everything. So driven economy, maintaining this inclusive social fabric is essential. See, there are so many threats from AI also. Advancing technology, threat also becomes more, right? With that advancing technology, through that transition, how are you going to maintain this social fabric is important. Okay, is essential for India to become stable, innovative and resilient global power. See, to the world we have a projection that Indian society is a diversified country. India is a diversified country. We still have this we still have this name, right? India is a diversified country. With advancement, with this transition, how are you going to maintain those things and go? That is so important. So that you will be writing in the conclusion. Don't end up your conclusion just by saying spirit and tolerance is very essential for India and all. Or else some people will also give Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in the conclusion also. Don't give general statement, give a futuristic conclusion, so that examiner will have this opinion, okay, the candidate is a futuristic, is having a futuristic mindset. Okay, you will be writing like this. Okay, so hopefully the session was helpful. We'll be coming back with another question in the next class. So if you have any questions or queries, please comment in the comment section. I will be replying to all your comments. So thank you everyone.